Let's talk about the Texans a little bit here. I'm already hearing some rumblings on the old internet, which is dicey. It's entirely possible that we may see the first ever Monday Night Football flex on your network. Currently, Week 14, you got Green Bay at the Giants. The Jets are hosting the Texans that night. That weekend as well in the same building. So that may be one of those easy swap outs. Sunday to Monday and things, you know what I mean? Like, hey, everyone stay put, we'll just see, obviously. But the fact that that's even a conversation, and it's not because of the Jets, is saying a ton. What do you think of when you watch CJ Stroud on film and live, Robert? What do you think about it?
Yeah, well, I got to say before I answer the question, it could be because maybe Aaron Rodgers is coming back and because of the way that CJ Stroud is playing. I don't know. And I know there's a lot of speculation. A lot of people don't think it could be true. But from what I'm hearing from my sources, Aaron Rodgers is pretty close to putting those old shoulder pads on and getting back out there on the football field. But let me digress from that conversation.
Okay.
We can talk about it in a second. Let's talk about CJ Stroud because he is playing out of his mind. And when I say that, it's when you watch his footwork, when you watch how he's working through his progressions, the eye manipulation of the safeties. I thought one of the most impressive things that happened in this past game against the Bengals was he threw the interception, right? They come back, they go 3 and out. And then on the game-winning drive, first pass he throws to Tank Dell after scrambling around, Tank Dell drops it. CJ Stroud is unfazed by that. He throws a pick, goes 3 and out, first play of the game-winning drive, drop pass. He comes back and leads them all the way down the field. 3rd and 6, big shot down the field to Dalton Schultz on the seam route. The Bengals tried to show this man everything. They threw the kitchen sink at him on that play. He read it, he read it, diagnosed it, got to where he needed to go with the football. Then he comes back on the 2nd and 5 play to Noah Brown, where he breaks the tackles and gets down to like around the 20-yard line, which is essentially the play that got them in bona fide field goal range. Well, Noah Brown ran the wrong route. It was a choice route. He was supposed to break out. He broke in, but CJ's playing so far ahead of the defense right now, he's able to make his guys right even when they're wrong. So he pinned that one on his face. Noah Brown made a great catch, obviously makes a great play after the fact. But I've been so impressed with CJ from that standpoint because the one thing I knew about him coming out was he was a ball placement specialist. That's what he calls himself, and it shows up on tape all the time, and he's raised the level of everybody around him, and you see the swag that they're playing with. So I'm really excited for the Houston Texans because the rest of their schedule, Rich, they could easily make a playoff push, and not just a playoff push, but, could potentially win their division.
I know, because they already have in their back pocket a win in Jacksonville. And the way that they're playing, I mean, Will Anderson, too, Nick Caserio going in and said, let's get Stroud, let's get Anderson. Right now is a heck of a 1-2 punch right now. And then you look at the playoff picture and you're wondering who behind them is playing as well as them. Other than the Bengals, right? The Raiders have won 2 in a row. But if you put the Texans against and even the teams in front of them right now, there's not many that are playing as well as them. And that's a fact. And that's an absolute fact.
No, absolute fact. And I think if you look at the playoff picture right now, if the playoffs started today, the Texans would be the last team in, and the Bengals and the Bills would both be out. And that's like, it's crazy to think that. But the other crazy thing is CJ Stroud led the Texans to victory against the Bengals, against one of the most feared closers in the game in Joe Burrow. And I know Tyler Boyd dropped a touchdown, and a lot of people want to talk about that. But for him to have that, who do you think you are? I am type of moment in that game was just fun. It was fascinating to me to see that. And he did it without his leading receiver, his leading rusher. I think their starting safety, their starting kicker. So they weren't even at full strength, and CJ Stroud was able to will them to that victory. The Texans, I don't want to say they're a scary team. I just know that they're a hot team right now, and I don't think a lot of people want to see CJ Stroud the way that he's operating.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.